Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhav, Jaya Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav, Jaya Radha Madhav, Jaya Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav, Jaya Radha Madhav, Jaya Panchatattva, 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 Jaya Panchatattva. Jaya Prahlad Singha, Jaya Prahlad Singha, Jaya Prahlad Singha, Jaya Prahlad Singha. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Shri Shri Harinama Sankirtan ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nigamakalpataruragalitam phalam sukamukadamrita dravasamyutam bibada bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavuka narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatyuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. Hare Krishna. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Creation, chapter number 15. The Pandavas retire timely. Text number 35 and 36. So I'll read the verse 35, verse and translation purport, then we can repeat verse number 36. Yata matsyadi rupani datte jahyad yata nataha bhubharakshapito yena jahau tacha kalevaram. Word-to-word translation. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The Supreme Lord relinquished the body which He manifested to diminish the burden of the earth. Just like a magician, he relinquishes one body to accept different ones, like the fish incarnation and others. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Lord Personality of Godhead is neither impersonal nor formless, but His body is non-different from Him, and therefore He is known as the embodiment of eternity, knowledge and bliss. In the Brihad Vaishnava Tantra, it is clearly mentioned that anyone who considers the form of Lord Kṛṣṇa to be made of material energy must be ostracized by all means. And if by chance the face of such an infidel is seen, one must clean himself by jumping in the river with his clothing. The Lord is described as Amrita or deathless because He has no material body. Under the circumstances, the Lord's dying or quitting His body is like the jugglery of a magician. The magician shows by his tricks that he is cut to pieces, burned to ashes, or made unconscious by hypnotic influences. But all are false shows only. Factually, the magician himself is neither burnt to ashes nor cut to pieces, nor is he dead or unconscious at any stage of his magical demonstration. Similarly, the Lord has His eternal forms of unlimited variety, of which the fish incarnation, as was exhibited within the universe, is also one. Because there are innumerable universes, somewhere or the other, the fish incarnation must be manifesting His pastimes without cessation. In this universe, particular word datte, eternally accepted, not the word ditva, accepted for the occasion, is used. The idea is that the Lord does not create the fish incarnation. He eternally has such a form, and appearance and disappearance of such an incarnation serves particular purposes. In the Bhagavad Gita 7.24 and 25, the Lord says, "The impersonalists think that I have no form, that I am formless, but that at present I have accepted a form to serve a purpose, and now I am manifested." But such speculators are factually without sharp intelligence. Though they may be good scholars in the Vedic literatures, they are practically ignorant of my inconceivable energies and my eternal forms of personality. The reason is that I reserve the power of not being exposed to the non-devotees by my mystic curtain. The less intelligent fools are therefore unaware of my eternal form, which is never to be vanquished and is unborn. In the Padma Purana, it is said that those who are envious and always angry at the Lord are unfit to know the actual and eternal form of the Lord. In the Bhagavatam also, it is said that the Lord appeared like a thunderbolt to those who were wrestlers. Shishupala, at the time of being killed by the Lord, could not see him as Kṛṣṇa, being dazzled by the glare of Brahmajyoti. Therefore, the temporary manifestation of the Lord as a thunderbolt to the wrestlers appointed by Kamsa, or the glaring appearance of the Lord before Shishupala, was relinquished by the Lord. But the Lord, as a magician, is eternally existent and is never vanquished in any circumstance. Such forms are temporarily shown to the asuras only, and when such exhibitions are withdrawn, the asuras think that the Lord is no more existent, just as the foolish audience thinks the magician to be burned to ashes or cut to pieces. The conclusion is that the Lord has no material body, and therefore he is never to be killed or changed by his transcendental body. Text number 36. Yadā mukundo bhagavān imāṁ mahīm. Yadā mukundo bhagavān imāṁ mahīm. Jahau sva-tanvā śravaṇīya-sat-kathaḥ. Jahau sa-tanvā śravaṇīya-sat-kathaḥ. Tadāhar evāpratibuddha-cetasām. Tadāhar evāpratibuddha-cetasām. Abhadra-hetuḥ kalir anvavartata. Abhadra-hetuḥ kalir anvavartata. Yadā mukundo bhagavān imāṁ mahīm. Jahau sva-tanvā śravaṇīya-sat-kathaḥ. Tadāhar evāprati-buddha-cetasām. Abhadra-hetuḥ kalir anvavartata. Some Prabhus can recite the shlokas. Yadā mukundo bhagavān imāṁ mahīm. Jahau śravaṇīya-sat-kathaḥ. Tadāhar evāprati-buddha-cetasām. Abhadra-hetuḥ kalir anvavartata. Yadā mukundo bhagavān imāṁ mahīm. Jahau sva-tanvā śravaṇīya-sat-kathaḥ. Tadāhar evāprati-buddha-cetasām. Abhadra-hetuḥ kalir anvavartata. Matajis. yadā mukundo bhagavān imāṁ mahīm jahau śravaṇīya-sat-kathaḥ tadāhar evāprati-buddha-cetasām abhadra-hetuḥ kalir anvavartata yadā mukundo bhagavān imāṁ mahīm jahau sva-tanvā śravaṇīya-sat-kathaḥ tadāhar evāprati-buddha-cetasām abhadra-hetuḥ kalir anvavartata. Please repeat the word-to-word translation. Yadā, when mukundaḥ, Lord Kṛṣṇa, bhagavān, the personality of Godhead, imāṁ, this, mahīm, earth, jahau, left, sva-tanvā, with his selfsame body, śravaṇīya-sat-kathaḥ, hearing about him is worthwhile. Tadā, at that time, ahaḥ, from the very day, aprati-buddha-cetasām, of those whose minds are not sufficiently developed. Abhadra-hetuḥ, cause of all ill fortune. Kali anvavartata, Kali fully manifested. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation, please repeat. When the personality of Godhead, Lord Kṛṣṇa, left his earthly planet in his self-same form, from that very day, Kali, who had already partially appeared, became fully manifest to create inauspicious conditions for those who are endowed with a poor fund of knowledge. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. The influence of Kali Yuga can be enforced only upon those who are not fully developed in God consciousness. One can neutralize the effects of Kali by keeping oneself fully under the supreme care of the personality of Godhead. The age of Kali ensued just after the battle of Kurukshetra. Thank you. The age of Kali ensued just after the battle of Kurukshetra, but it could not exert its influence because of the presence of the Lord. The Lord, however, left this earthly planet in his own transcendental body, and as soon as he left, the symptoms of Kali Yuga, as were envisioned by Maharaja Yudhishthira prior to Arjuna's arrival from Dwaraka, began to manifest. And Maharaja Yudhishthira rightly conjectured on the departure of the Lord from the earth. As we have already explained, the Lord left our sight just as when the sun sets, it is out of our sight. Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate taptakanchana gaurangi radhe vrindavaneshwari vrishabhanusute devi pranamami haripriye vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langaite girim yatkripatamaham vande shrigarum dinadaranam paramanandamadavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram katanchana smrite yasmin dushkaram sukaram babedhi smrite viparitam syat Shri Chaitanyam namamitam. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Namah Shivaya Krishna Shtang Kilishmate Jai Hare Krishna. So I'll read the translation of these two verses before we go to the details. Text number 35. The Supreme Lord relinquished the body which he manifested to diminish the burden of the earth. Just like a magician, he relinquishes one body to accept different ones, like the fish incarnation and others. Text 36. When the personality of Godhead, Lord Kṛṣṇa, left his earthly planet in his self-same form, from that very day, Kali, who had already partially appeared, became fully manifest to create inauspicious conditions for those who are endowed with profound of knowledge. Hare Krishna. So in this chapter, we are learning a very, very important lesson, how one should leave this body, how one should get out of the attachments. And the Pandavas are showing this by their own personal examples, by demonstrating how one should be detached. Although Yudhishthira Maharaj had all the opulence in the world, everything he had, but still when he realized that Lord Sri Kṛṣṇa has concluded his earthly pastimes and he has left this earth planet, then he decided to wind up. So that shows the real intelligence. Prabhupada uses the word intelligence. Intelligent person is one who is always in the service of Kṛṣṇa, who always engages in the service of Kṛṣṇa, his thoughts, words and deeds, everything engaged in the service of Kṛṣṇa. That is the real intelligent person. So here Pandavas are decided, okay, there is Parikshit Maharaj is a pure devotee who is there to take care of things. Now it's time for us to leave. So here in these two verses, Prabhupada very clearly explains about how Lord Kṛṣṇa leaving from this earth planet is not equal to how we leave our body and go to the next body or to the next destination. For us, body and soul are different. This body is different from our soul. But for Kṛṣṇa, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the soul and the body are the same. There is no difference between body and soul. Everything is transcendental when it comes to Kṛṣṇa. Right? There is no question of quitting the body or anything like that. For us, this body is made of earth, water, fire, air, ether, the Panchabhutas, and then the subtle bodies and the gross bodies. This body is made of all these elements. So definitely, we need to quit this body. This body is temporary, but our soul, we are permanent. For Kṛṣṇa, the body and the soul are same, so there is no question of quitting the body. So it's basically he appears and disappears. Appears for a specific purpose, and when the purpose is finished, he goes to the next place. So in Bhagavad Gita, in the 4th chapter, Lord Kṛṣṇa explains the purposes for his appearance. Basically to protect the devotees, annihilate the demons, and to re-establish religious principles. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. He keeps appearing one after another. He takes different forms. And Prabhupada explains very clearly here, all these forms are not just appeared just like that. No, it is eternally there. It is eternally there. So there is no question of birth or death there. When we say eternal, then there is no beginning or end. Lord Brahma glorifies Kṛṣṇa. Ishvara Parama Kṛṣṇa Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda. There is no beginning. Nobody is before Kṛṣṇa. For conducting his pastimes, he accepts somebody as father, mother, brother, sister, and all these things. So Prabhupada explains in the purport very nicely here about the fish incarnation. The fish incarnation is going on eternally in different universes. Even now it's going on somewhere. So there is no question of beginning and end. In the second verse towards the end, Prabhupada explains with a beautiful example this particular concept. As we have already explained, the Lord left our sight just as the sun sets, it is out of our sight. So when the sun is setting, it is out of our sight. Doesn't mean sun does not exist. Only foolish people think that sun does not exist. Actually, sun exists, but it is beyond our eyesight. So this is exactly what Prabhupada is explaining here, right? And so there is some set of people who claim that Lord is the supreme absolute truth, do not have a form. Impersonalists, they say there is no form. The impersonal feature creates a form and then gets back to the impersonal feature. So this is one concept that is going on. But Lord clearly explained in Bhagavad Gita and so many other places, in Srimad Bhagavatam and so many different places, about his identity. In Srimad Bhagavatam, in the first canto, in the earlier chapters, the Supreme Lord explains, Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavān iti shabdyate. The Lord can be understood in three different features. Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavān. The Bhagavān feature includes everything. The Bhagavān feature is the supreme form of the Lord. Right? So all the other features are there, but it is not complete in itself. But Bhagavān feature is complete in itself. So the Lord reserves the right to expose himself to others, depending on their level of devotion, depending on their level of bhakti. Kṛṣṇa says, Ye etāmāṁ prapadyante tāṁ stataiva bhajāmiham. To whatever extent we surrender to Kṛṣṇa, to that extent Kṛṣṇa reciprocates to us. So we cannot say, oh, Kṛṣṇa, I've been chanting for 25 years, 40 years, Kṛṣṇa has not revealed to me. So it's not about the amount of time. It is about Kṛṣṇa should decide. Right? In the Damodar Leela, we find a 2-finger shot. Right? The philosophy behind the 2-finger shot, the Yashoda Maya is trying to tie the rope on Kṛṣṇa's belly to the wooden grinding mortar. Every time she grabs lengthier rope, every time its shots fall by 2 fingers. The Acharyas have explained that 1 finger is basically our endeavor to serve Kṛṣṇa, and the other finger represents Kṛṣṇa's willingness to accept our efforts and endeavors. So both are there. So just because, oh, I'm doing everything, Kṛṣṇa should give me this. No, that's not the. Kṛṣṇa should decide. Kṛṣṇa will not decide easily. Because when Kṛṣṇa decides to give, then he sells himself to us. Then he is duty bound to take care of us permanently, eternally. So he is very careful. He chooses whom to give that opportunity. So it's not easy. Even Kṛṣṇa stands in front of us. Some of us may not be able to recognize that this is Kṛṣṇa. Like what happened in front of Duryodhana or Shishupal or so many demons. They were not able to understand that Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Mudas cannot understand Kṛṣṇa. avajananti mamuda. They cannot understand Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa covers them with a curtain. Kṛṣṇa covers them with a curtain. If we are not interested, Kṛṣṇa does not disturb us. Kṛṣṇa will not disturb us at all. Oh, I am not interested in Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Okay, so be it. So Kṛṣṇa encourages you in so many different ways. That way Kṛṣṇa is very merciful. Right? Because Kṛṣṇa was very, very merciful, Kṛṣṇa is very, very merciful, he created this material world. The creation of this material world is an indication that Kṛṣṇa is very merciful to us. Why? We wanted to enjoy without Kṛṣṇa. And then Kṛṣṇa is a supreme creator, he created a separate thing for us. Okay, you go here and enjoy. What is that place? This is this material world. And then we took thousands and thousands of years to realize, oh, this is dukkhalayam and ashashvatam. Although Kṛṣṇa has said again and again, this is not the place for you, still you are interested, please go. Kṛṣṇa doesn't force anybody to take up to Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Whereas, if you come to our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is most munificent incarnation. Namo Mahavadanyaya Kṛṣṇa Prema Pradayate. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most munificent incarnation. Whoever is the most unqualified, to that person he gives Kṛṣṇa Prema, the topmost. This is the fundamental difference between Kṛṣṇa and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives the topmost to the most unqualified. Tara Sakshi Jagai Madai. Jagai Madai episode is a very good example for all of us. The most abominable set of people, they got Kṛṣṇa Prem by the mercy of Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that means we all have little bit of hope. We all have little bit of hope that we are trying sincerely against all odds. What are the odds? We are in Kali Yuga. Prāyinalpa sabya kalo vasmin yuge jana mandaha sumandamatayo mandabhakya hupadrataha. Always disturbed, full of quarrel. Amongst devotees there is a fight, quarrel. When you go out and take the newspaper, full of news which we don't need to look into at all. This is a situation we are lazy, slow in understanding, manda, very slow in understanding. His Divine Grace, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Narottam Das Thakur, they were all Shrutidars. You know Shrutidar? Shrutidar is one, when you just read once or hear once, they understand, realize, and everything goes to their memory immediately. But we are not Shrutidars. At least I am not Shrutidar. So we have to be told. That's why all these things, as they realized these things in the very beginning, before the advent of Kali Yuga, he realized, okay, this is the situation of the living entities in Kali Yuga. So in the very beginning, in the first chapter itself, he has written, oh, the Kali Yuga is like this. And towards the 12th canto also has written this. What is that? About the features of Kali Yuga. Very first verse of the one of the chapters, I think, second chapter or something like that in the 12th canto. Tataschanudinam dharma satyam shaucham kshamadaya kalena balina rajan nangshat yayur balam smriti. All these qualities keeps diminishing day by day in Kali Yuga. What are these qualities? Dharma, religiosity. Satyam, truthfulness. Shaucham, cleanliness. Kshama, compassion or forgiveness. Daya, being kind and compassionate. Ayur, lifespan. Balam, strength. Smriti, memory. All these things gets reduced day by day in this Kali Yuga. And we are in this situation. We are just in the beginning of Kali Yuga. Imagine that we are in the beginning of Kali Yuga. We are witnessing so many things here. That is why Narad Muni got so depressed before the advent of Kali Yuga. Narad Muni was so compassionate towards all the conditioned souls that are going to be there in this Kali Yuga. He was so compassionate. He was feeling so bad. He is para dukkha dukhi. When he sees the suffering of others, he feels sufferings on himself. He was feeling so bad, these conditioned souls, how are they going to get delivered? Who is going to help them? Then he went to Dwaraka to meet Kṛṣṇa. Oh my dear Kṛṣṇa, please give some way for these conditioned souls. Then Kṛṣṇa realized the mood of Narada, and then he said, okay, in Kali Yuga I'll appear as Gauranga. Then Narad Muni was so ecstatic. Hari bol, Gauranga, Gauranga. He was started jumping up and down. And then Kṛṣṇa said, okay, you please tell, I need some associates. I don't come alone. I need some associates. Please call different personalities up here. Then Narad Muni went to Brahmaloka, and there we met Lord Brahma. Upon seeing the ecstatic mood of Narada, Brahma asked, what happened, my dear son? What happened to you? You are so ecstatic. Then he said, Lord, the Supreme Lord is going to appear as Gauranga. Please come and participate in that pastime. Then Brahma said, yes, definitely. Because Brahma had an experience. How the Lord can bewilder is exactly the verse what we are discussing. We all know about the Brahma Vimohan Leela. Brahma wanted to steal the calves and the cows and the cowherd boys. Sorry, not the cows, calves and the cowherd boys. And then see whether this little boy is really the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He wanted to test Kṛṣṇa. He hid them in a cave. And then he wanted to see what's happening. And then Kṛṣṇa, who can cheat Kṛṣṇa? Kṛṣṇa is the greatest of all the cheaters also. So Kṛṣṇa, he expanded himself, had different gopas and different calves. And then for 1 full year he was doing his pastimes like that, giving an opportunity for the cows and the mothers, the gopis, elderly gopis, to have the association, intimate association of Kṛṣṇa. Then Brahma realized, oh my God, what did I do? I didn't realize. So this is the case for Brahma, who has glorified Kṛṣṇa so many times. Ishvara Parama Kṛṣṇa Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam Advaitam Achyutam Anadimananta Rupam Adhyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam. So many different ways Brahma has glorified. Still he is put into bewilderment. So when Kṛṣṇa decides to bewilder us, nobody can help us. If Kṛṣṇa decides to give us knowledge, nobody can stop that knowledge. So Brahma said, yes, I did some mistake. I want to repent. I want to do something. So I want to appear in the lowest of the human being. I will take birth in the Muslim family. I will become a Chandala. I will chant the Harinam in that mood. So he appeared as Haridas Thakur. Then Narada went to Kailash to meet Lord Shiva. Then Lord Shiva said he was very happy to see Narada, his brother. And then he was, again Narad Muni explained, and Lord Shiva said, yes, yes, I will appear. Then he went to meet Lord Balaram. Balaram said, without me, Narad Muni said, without you, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will not come. You are brother of Kṛṣṇa. You must appear. Then Balaram said, yes, yes, I will appear as Lord Nityananda. So like that, so many different personalities appeared, and Narad Muni himself appeared as Srivas Thakur. So like that, different personalities from the spiritual world, they all appeared to give company, association, to take the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then the Lord decided to appear. Why? To deliver, to demonstrate how to be a devotee in Kali Yuga. He demonstrated that. Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Namaiva Kevalam Kalav Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatiranyata. There is no other way, no other way, no other way. 3 times he is repeated. No other way. There is no path. It's not through karma yoga, not through karma, not through jnana, not through yoga. 3 times it is repeated. Right? Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva. But only one way. What is that? Hari Kirtana. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is the only way we can shield ourselves from this ill effects of Kali. This is the only way. If we are exposed to Kali, that means we should understand that we are not fully there in Kṛṣṇa consciousness. We all should understand. Yeah. So these 3 times Chaitanya Mahaprabhu repeated, Kalav Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatiranyata, right? Basically, it cannot be done through karma, not through jnana, not through yoga. There is only one way it is possible, that is through Harinam Sankirtan. So we have to shield ourselves, protect ourselves from the ill effects of Kali by taking up to the holy names seriously. That is the only way. The Kali started exhibiting his influences on the living entities because Kṛṣṇa has just left the planet. So Kali started exhibiting his influences. But Kṛṣṇa did not go. He left something for us. What he has left? Srimad Bhagavatam. Kṛṣṇa svadāmopagate dharma jnānādibhi saha kalau nashta drishamesha purānārko dunodita. He left this Srimad Bhagavatam. Through Bhagavatam we can understand Kṛṣṇa. So Kṛṣṇa says, nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. By chanting, by reciting Srimad Bhagavatam and rendering service to the devotees, then we can establish firmly bhakti in our heart. We can establish firmly bhakti in our heart. When bhakti is firmly established in our heart, what happens? All the lower levels of modes, mode of passion, mode of ignorance gets removed, disappeared from the heart. Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogataḥ bhagavat tattva vijñānam mukta sangasya jayate. Then our mind becomes very agile and awakened. Very pleasing heart through which we can understand the science of Kṛṣṇa. Bhagavat tattva vijñānam. We can understand the science of Kṛṣṇa. We can understand who Kṛṣṇa really is. When we firmly establish ourselves in bhakti, and how to establish ourselves firmly in bhakti is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving us, to chant Hare Kṛṣṇa, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So that is the only way in this Kali Yuga. There is no other way, no other easy process available, no other potent and effective process available in this Kali Yuga. And this has been repeated again and again and again by so many acharyas in so many scriptures. This is the only way. So we have to see how to remove this curtain in front of us. How to remove the dirt from the heart. By cleansing our heart. Cheto darpanam arjanam bhavamaha davagni nirvapanam. The cleansing of the heart should take place through the chanting of the holy names. And in that so many different levels are there. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives us the guidelines, what we should do. Pranadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna amani namanadena kirtaniya-sadahari. How we should chant. Chanting is important. Any way we chant, we'll get the benefit. But if you want to get the real benefit that we are talking about, Kṛṣṇa prema, that comes only by pure chanting. Kṛṣṇa prema is available only through pure chanting. Not chanting with mixed chanting and things like that. No, that's not. Namabhas and all will not give us Kṛṣṇa prema. Kṛṣṇa prema is available only through pure chanting. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says how to get pure chanting. We should be tolerant. Some people will call us, hey, you are a fool. Yes, I am a fool. Why we are a fool? Why we should accept ourselves as fool? For thousands and thousands of births, these instructions have been given to us. Again and again we have taken birth. So what else could be called us other than being a fool? We have been told, oh my dear, please don't go this side. Material enjoyment is not good for you. But we say, no, I want to do that. Oh, this is only meant for pure devotees, not for me. So I'll involve myself a little bit here, there, it's okay. So we compromise. We become complacent in our endeavors. We become complacent in our endeavors. That's where we slacken ourselves in our path of sadhana bhakti. So pure chanting means we should be very strict on ourselves. Very, very strict on ourselves. But when we are preaching, that's a different thing. let's not get confused between preaching and our own sadhana. For our own sadhana, we should be very strict. When you are preaching, then you can show some leniency to others. So for our own sadhana, we should be very, very strict. We should not be compromising on anything. We should just follow what Prabhupada said. Follow the regulatory principles of the do's and don'ts. Not only the don'ts. Do's also are there. Chanting, taking association with devotees, eating only Kṛṣṇa prasadam, and regularly reading Srimad Bhagavatam and the scriptures. These are the do's. A, B, C, D. Association, Bhagavatam, books reading. And C for chanting, and D for diet, prasadam. So these are the do's. And don'ts are, we all know what are the don'ts. So when we follow this, then we will not be affected by the ill effects of Kali Yuga. Although we are in Kali Yuga, although we are in the material world, we will not be affected by that. So this is the only way. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way in this Kali Yuga. So Yudhishthira Maharaj was very, very intelligent, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is instructing us here how one can be intelligent here in this Kali Yuga ourselves, by taking the guidelines given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada, and all the Acharyas of our Sampradaya. So simply by chanting the holy names of the Lord, one can easily cross over or overcome the ill effects of Kali Yuga. Kali will not touch us if we are chanting the holy names of the Lord. The influence of Kali will not be upon us when we are firmly established in the process of bhakti. Hare Krishna. If you have any questions or comments, you can share. Yes, Mataji. Would you like to speak on the mic, if you don't mind? Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you
Hare
for
Krishna,
the nice
Mataji.
class. I have a curiosity. I hope my question is not inappropriate, but you were talking about, the appearance of Lord Chaitanya in this Kali Yuga. Now, I seem to remember, the Yuga cycles, the 4 cycles, they happen regularly, manifestation and annihilation, all the time. So it's not that the situation in Kali Yuga, in this Kali Yuga, is particularly bad, because the qualities that you were saying that happen in Kali Yuga, it's a regular thing that is happening. Yeah. But the appearance of Lord Chaitanya does not happen in every Kali Yuga, I seem to understand. Yeah. So was there something that happened in this Kali Yuga that made it different from all the other Kali Yugas? Because the compassion of Narada Muni and the other sages, there are so many sages full of compassion, and they would have that desire to save the Kali Yuga people also in all the other ages. So it's not that the call of Narada Muni or that compassion was different in this Kali Yuga compared to all the other hundreds of Kali Yugas that happen all the time. So I'm thinking, just as a curiosity, if there is something that distinguished this Kali Yuga from all the others, so the Lord Chaitanya, particularly in this, and why not in the others? But I don't know if there is any indication. Thank you.
It's a very interesting question. Thank you. So, the Supreme Lord decides to perform various pastimes according to his own wishes. He wants to perform different pastimes according to his own wishes. Whenever he wants to appear, he appears. There are scheduled incarnations, as he says, in different yugas, different incarnations. So many different incarnations come and go, right? And we all know all the incarnations are absolute, right? All the incarnations are absolute. It's not one is big, one is small, and things like that. But from the materialistic perspective, if we explain this is the biggest one, this is not so big, then we will be able to understand and realize. But as far as Kṛṣṇa is concerned, anything related to Kṛṣṇa is concerned, it's all absolute, right? So in different yugas, different incarnations, there are thousands and thousands of incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they are appearing and disappearing in different yugas and different universes all over the material world. So the purpose is same, that is to protect the devotees and annihilate the demons and re-establish religious principles. The purpose is same, but the form and shape in which the Lord appears in different yugas are different. So in this Kali Yuga, we are all very fortunate that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared to deliver all the fallen conditioned souls, to give Kṛṣṇa prema, right? The Kṛṣṇa prema is available only in to everyone in all the yugas. It's available, but in this episode, when Lord Chaitanya decides to appear now, it is freely available to everyone. So the point you are making is what happened in the previous Kali Yuga, that also was equally bad. The Kali Yuga features are same, definitely yes, all the Kali Yuga features are same only. But in this Kali Yuga, Kṛṣṇa decided to appear as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In previous yugas, previous Kali Yuga, he would have come in a different form and shape, right? So he decides when to appear and when not to appear. So when we go to Shweta-dvipa to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can ask that question. Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Mataji, want to add something more to that?
Mataji, sorry, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I want to comment on this,
sure,
if you allow me.
Sure.
As we know that Brahma's one day is one kalpa.
Yeah.
And one kalpa means 1000 Chaturjuga.
Correct.
And 1000 Chaturjuga is 14 manmantar, and one manmantar consists of 71 Chaturjuga.
Correct.
Her question is that why this time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared and why the Kṛṣṇa also appeared 5,000 years back.
Right.
The point is that this manmantar is Vivashat Manu manmantar, the seventh Manu, Vivashat Manu. And this is 28th Kali Yuga is going on.
Right.
So it is in the scriptures, I don't know which scriptures it is written, I have heard from the senior devotees that 7th manmantar, 28th Chaturjuga, means 28th Dwapar, Lord Kṛṣṇa will come, 28th Kali, Lord Chaitanya will come. This is the logic. But I don't know, I cannot refer the scriptures, but it is said by the senior devotees.
Yeah, sure. Point taken. Thank you. Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu,
Hare
for
Krishna,
a
Mataji.
really nice class. And I completely agree that we hear this all the time, that chanting is the only way. We must chant. And in spite of hearing that, in spite of knowing that, we have such a difficult time with chanting, because when we sit down to chant, that's the time the mind goes all over the place. So how can we move from offensive, mixed up chanting to pure chanting? Because that's the goal. If you could.
Sure.
Thank you.
Actually, there is a beautiful literature written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur under the name Harinama Chintamani. So in Harinama Chintamani there are different levels of chanting are explained in great detail. So how our mind gets affected, what are the different ways the mind is affecting us, all those things are explained. One can go through that book to get more details. But there are practical demonstrations done by different devotees how one can improve our chanting, right? So one should always chant in the association of devotees. Chanting in the association of devotees helps us to improve our chanting. But we have to see, we should not get into one, particularly when we get into chanting in the group of devotees. Sometimes some different discussions also starts happening when the chanting is going on. So we should be very, very clear whom you are choosing to associate with while chanting. So that doesn't mean we should just go to a secluded place and we should not have the association of devotees and all. That will become, sometimes it can become a disaster for us, because Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he has explained in a beautiful book called Vaishnava K. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, what type of Vaishnava are you? In the name of chanting, one should not go to a secluded place, right? So, what is that? Tumi Kishera Vaishnava Prajistara Tare Nirjana Ghare Tava Harinama Kevala. He starts that, right? So just for chanting purpose, we should not be in a secluded place and pose ourselves to be a great Vaishnavas, just be imitating personalities like Haridas Thakur and few other personalities. But where we are at this point in time, we should understand and seek the association of the senior Vaishnavas, and then see how we can perform our power chanting. Power chanting means to loudly chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One time in the temple hall, one day Srila Prabhupada was explaining about the importance of chanting, and the next day morning His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, he was chanting loudly in the temple hall, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. He was chanting, going on and on and on, chanting loudly. Then other devotees went and complained to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Jayapataka Maharaj is chanting loudly, it's disturbing us. Then Prabhupada said, okay, call him. So then Prabhupada called, then Jayapataka Maharaj came there, and then he said, why are you chanting so loudly? Oh, Prabhupada, yesterday you explained from Chaitanya Charitamrita, if mind is disturbed, one should chant loudly. So all our mind are always disturbed, so we should chant loudly. Then Prabhupada said, very good, so go to the park and chant loudly. So the point here is, when mind is very disturbed. For all of us, mind is very, very disturbed. It's chanchal, it goes here, there and all. So we have to bring back the mind. How do we bring back the mind? By chanting loudly. We have to hear each and every word we are chanting, and very nicely we should chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Some devotees have the habit of chanting with Prabhupada Japa recording and things like that. So like that we should find ways and means which is the most suitable way for us in our practice of chanting japa. So ideally it should be done with devotees. Even if we have one devotee to accompany you to chant, one devotee, we should have one devotee to whom we can open our heart. We should not, oh, what will others think? Let me not do anything. Let me not share my difficulties with others. Many devotees go through this situation because they don't know what will other devotees think about me? I am 20 years in Krishna consciousness. If they come to know that I am not chanting, I am finding a difficulty in overcoming the 4 regulative principles, what will they think about me? They are afraid to expose themselves. So we should have at least one devotee to whom we can open our heart and speak. As Rupa Goswami says, tatati pratigrihණāti guhyamakyati prachyati. We should confidentially, should be able to open our heart and speak. Otherwise, what for we are all here? The Vaishnava devotees are very merciful. They are very, very merciful. So they understand. Not all of us have come directly from the spiritual world and sitting here. Everybody is going through. The problem may be slightly big or small, but all of us are going to different problems. So we should open our heart and speak openly with some devotees whom we think can impart us correct solution to our problems. So this is very important for us to find such a devotee. That's why we should have always a mentor at all stages of life. We should just go to somebody above us. Probably our spiritual master may not be available all the time with us practically, but we can pray to him every day, pray to Srila Prabhupada every day, and then some devotee will come to help us. I'm sure all of us have some experience here or the other, how these things work. So it's very important for us to have that such association. That's very, very important. So that we can open our heart and explain what we are going through, and then we can get some solution from that. Right? Actually, we know what to do. It's not that we do not know. The point like rightly you made, it's not that we do not know. It's a realization which is missing. Theoretical knowledge is there. Knowledge is there. The realization is missing. When we come to the point of realization, then everything is fine. Right? It's like this in a recipe book, how to make rasagulla. It's written nicely. Right? Nicely written in the recipe book. Oh, you had to make sugar syrup, this, that. I don't know how to make rasgulla. You know how to make rasgulla, Mataji? Okay. So we can learn, but when you do actually, then we will know whether it is coming as rasagulla or some other gulla. When we actually make it, we will know. One time, one devotee here, when I was in during the pandemic, we had one gathering. So we had some group gathering during Radhashtami because we were not allowed to come to the temple so in big crowd. So one devotee asked me, can you make gulab jamun? I said, okay, I will do. Because I used to make gulab jamun 20 years before when I was doing the preaching activities and all. After that, there is a long gap. So when I started baking, I made the dough and started frying. I made the sugar syrup, everything. When I fried, everything was coming apart. It's not coming together, you know. You know how it is, those who know how to make gulab jamun. It's all coming apart. So I didn't know what to do. What to do? Another half-an-hour program starts. I'm supposed to make gulab jamun. Oh my God, what to do? Then I took that, all the fried items I took, and then put it in the mixie, grinded everything, and then put in the sugar syrup, and then again blended everything, and then it became kind of a kheer. So I gave a new name. It's gulab kheer. Oh, then many Matajis came. Prabhu, so nice. How did you make it? Don't ask me that. Yes, Prabhu. Sorry.
You were talking, Hare Krishna. You were talking about the chanting, but I have adapted on this.
Sure,
matter.
please.
It's really so easy to find God, salvation only by chanting and staying with devotees and eating prasadam, because there are so many people that spend their entire lives searching for God or truth, and it is really so easy to find God only by chanting and staying with devotees.
Yeah. So the Hare Krishna Mahamantra meaning is, we are addressing to the internal energy of the Lord, Srimati Radharani. Oh my dear Srimati Radharani, please engage in the service of Sri Krishna. So when we chant, we get an opportunity to render service. When we render the service properly, then we will be able to chant better. So this goes hand in hand, you know. So we should not just do chanting. We should do some service also. Different services. Prabhupada has created so many varieties of services for us, starting from Mangalarti all the way down to Shayanarti. So many different services are there. Preaching services, book distribution service, so many services are there. So we should just take up some service and sincerely do that service, then our chanting will improve. When our chanting improves, then we will get more opportunity to do services. So we'll take one more last question from Mataji. Just last question, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I was curious to know the past time you said about Narada Muni was going to ask different personalities to join Lord Chaitanya.
Yeah.
Where did you find it? In which scripture is it described?
It's there in Gauranga. There is a book called Gauranga written by His Holiness Jayapatak Maharaj. He has taken it from different Vaishnava scriptures and compiled it as a story in different. So you can find that all these stories, whatever I'm telling, it's there in that book.
Thank you.
Okay.
I had one more question, but it's maybe it's a deep one. But maybe you can say something to enlighten me. I would like to be reminded why Krishna came in Panchatattva form.
Why Krishna came in Panchatattva form?
Why he manifests in the 5 features of the truth.
Yeah, basically, Krishna does not come alone, as we discussed. He comes in different forms. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. So he himself came, Supreme Lord came, then his energy came, he came as his devotee came, his incarnation came. So like that he brought everybody together so that the complete, the potent, you know the essence, essence, you have a vanilla essence, this different essence are there. So in any season, the essence will give the flavor, of that particular, like pineapple essence or vanilla essence and all. So this essence of all Vedic literature is condensed in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and the Supreme Lord wanted that essence to be distributed, the essence to achieve Krishna Prema to be distributed to everyone. So he came in different forms to emphasize the fact that for Kali Yuga, this is the most important method to get Krishna Prema. This is the only method to get Krishna Prema, just to give you answer in short. Right?
is it correct to say that, okay, we know that Kṛṣṇa is Bhagavan Swayam, but is it correct to say that this is the specific for Sankirtan movement because we need all these features to understand what is actually going on?
Yeah, we can say that also. We can say that. All right, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. If you have any other questions, we can discuss outside the class because I'm already late. It's 9:10 now. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Bhagavatam Granth Raj ki jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo.